Welcome and thank you for listening. This is a special finals preview of the Spurs and the Heat. We're going to look at some overall stats from this year, the entire year. The Spurs average 106 points and the Heat average 99. That is a huge statistic that most people are looking at. You can't deny that the Eastern Conference is just clearly a worse conference. I think everybody knew that going into this finals, no matter who won the Eastern Conference Finals, whether it was the Pacers or the Heat or any other team in the Eastern Conference, no team stands a chance of beating the Spurs. Now the Heat are going to put up a fight, I can tell you that much. But you just look at the things that the Spurs do that are just that much better. And we're going to take a look at those. So you see that the Heat in the past series with the Pacers, they just weren't scoring. They weren't putting up the kind of points that the Spurs have been putting up. A lot of people would say that the Eastern Conference is a defensive conference. And that's why Miami's averaging 99 points. But here's the thing. The Spurs play the same kind of defense that the Eastern Conference shows. They can play that quality of defense when they need to. So the Heat are essentially facing a team like the Pacers. Pretty good defense. Really good defense. But now this is a Pacers team that can score. So how can the Heat match up to that? How are they going to be able to react to the fact that this is a team with the quality of defense of the Pacers? You have to go and think of that. Plus, they're going to score 20 more points than the Pacers would. Well, we'll just out-rebound. Problem. The Spurs have been averaging 43 rebounds a game. Miami Heat average 34 rebounds per game. That's an extra 10 rebounds. That's an extra 20 points on possessions. So you get 10 extra rebounds and you capitalize with layup on every single one of those rebounds. That's an extra 20 points. And that's why the Spurs are averaging 106 points a game, because they can rebound. The second chance opportunities. Those opportunities that the Heat are missing out on. The only aspect that the Heat are a little bit more positive in is turnovers. They have average 10 turnovers a game. Spurs average 12. That's not a big enough difference to make a whole lot of noise about. Excuse me. Now we're going to look into individual factors of this series. I have to tell you, a lot of people were saying that Manu Ginobili, the big guy, the guy that is going to determine the series. But I think it's Ray Allen. Right now, Manu Ginobili is going to be the guy that's going to show up and score. Against the Thunder, 15 points a game. He's a playmaker, able to get assists. He's there coming off the bench. He's played his best basketball, I think, that he has in the past 5 to 10 years. He's playing extremely well. But the factor is, can Ray Allen slow him down? Can Ray Allen come out and start hitting threes and start making plays to match that? So right now the Spurs definitely have the better bench. Definitely. Boris Diaw and Manu Ginobili, they're there, they're going to score. Who do the Heat have? Have Chris Anderson to grab some rebounds. Ray Allen may or may not be there. We don't know. The starting five is going to be worked up. You got Chris Bosh. He's going to be on Tim Duncan. How is he going to last throughout this series? Who does Miami have that's going to go out there and put up those big points for them? Even if Ray Allen is able to go out there and say he puts up 10 points, you still need another good guy coming off the bench to guard Boris Diaw. Who's that going to be? Udonis Haslem isn't going to be able to do it. Chris Anderson's going to have to step up if they want to win this series at all. Last year, LeBron kind of had a rough series. This is a team, the Spurs, I absolutely love the way Greg Popovich utilizes his tools. Matt Bonner starts at center. You have Tim Duncan, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, and Tony Parker. Now, Tony Parker's questionable. How well will he be able to play? Will he be up to snuff? We'll see. Excuse me. But with that starting lineup, you have Danny Green that can knock down the threes. That's what the Spurs need. Last year, Danny Green, absolutely huge factor in the way that this Spurs team played and the way that he kept them in the playoffs. I like the way he played. Leonard, he's the guy that's able to drive to the basket. He's probably going to be guarded by Dwayne Wade or Mario Chalmers. He can take either one of those guys to the bucket. I don't really see Leonard as a guy that's going to be back there knocking down threes. That's Green's job. If you can get Leonard running in the middle, you can get some open space there in the post. We'll see what happens there. So now you have Tony Parker, probably being guarded by Mario Chalmers or Dwayne Wade. That is a starting lineup that presents a lot of trouble for the Heat, because you have Tim Duncan up there. Chris Bosh is going to be guarding him. Then you have Matt Bonner. Who's going to be guarding him? Well, whoever starts. If they decide to start Shane Battier, that opens up a whole new world, and you're just going to start feeding it into the post all night long. Because then Chris Bosh is probably going to move up, and then Shane Battier or LeBron James is going to guard Tim Duncan. And then you bring some guys off the bench, like Diaw. Bring him in. He's scoring some points. Bring in Manu Ginobili for Leonard. He's going to be shooting. This is the most versatile team. No matter what lineup they have in, they're going to have an advantage somewhere on the floor over this Heat team. There's no way, I don't see any way that the Spurs are going to lose. I don't see any way that the Heat are going to be able to outlast the Spurs. The matchups are just too hard, I think, for the Heat to match up against. Diaw is going to tear up Chris Anderson. Manu Ginobili is going to outshoot Ray Allen. And they still have guys on their bench like Marco Bellinelli. He can shoot. Patty Mills. Tiago Splitter. They just have guys. They have a deeper bench. They have a team that can help reinforce themselves. They're going to be less tired. They've got really good reinforcements. Guys that can maintain the lead and if not, improve on it. This is just a better team. I think that the Spurs all together, you put all their... Tim Duncan is averaging a double-double. He's playing extremely good basketball. Who's going to be able to stop him? 18 points, 10 rebounds each game. I just don't see anybody right there that can stop Tim Duncan. Chris Bosh isn't going to be able to do it. And we're going to flip this around here. The Heat. If the Heat are going to win, a lot of people say Heat in 6. All right, well, this is going to be pretty rough. The Heat are going to have to win, and if the Heat are going to win, they're going to win early. Chris Bosh is going to be key. Tim Duncan and Chris Bosh is going to be the matchup, and whoever wins that matchup, that team is going to win the game. When Tim Duncan does not play well for the Spurs don't play well. When Chris Bosh does not play well for the Heat don't play well. Yeah, they'll have LeBron there and they'll have Dwayne, but they're going to miss those rebounds. They're going to miss the big man in the post, the guy that's able to hit some mid-range shots. They're going to miss that. So whoever wins that battle, that is a team that is going to win the game. Now, going back to how the Heat are going to win it, if they're going to win it, in 6. LeBron James has to do better than he did last time. He's got to be able to hit shots. He's got to be able to penetrate, pass the ball in the post. And Dwayne Wade has to be able to do the same. He's got to be able to hit some shots. Mario Chalmers, better ball handling. Mario Chalmers is key. He can step back and hit the 3. He's very good at that. He's just got to know when to do it. And whoever is going to be starting in the 5 spot for the Heat, or the 4, whichever one they decide, whoever's going to be that 5th guy that's going to come in, whether it's Shane Battier, that means they're going all in offense. That means you got to get him looks, and you got to get him shooting. Shane Battier is lethal. If you get him going on a good game, he is going. If you hit Shane Battier on a good night, he can drop 20 points for you easily. So, guys have to score, they have to be able to move the ball, and they have to step up and play good defense. They can't have the Spurs setting in an offensive rhythm. Not just the Spurs, but every single NBA team works on a rhythm. And if any team gets in that rhythm and gets the offense flowing, they're going to win the game. The Miami Heat have to go in early. They have to disrupt this rhythm, and they have to be able to consistently play tough defense. That's why you might think of going big. Start Greg Oden and try to go big. Try to play big in the post. You don't even have to play big in the post. You just have to be able to stop the Spurs from penetrating the middle and making shots. You have to play tight defense. Dwayne Wade's going to have to guard Leonard extremely hard. Not give up anything. To be honest, I would put LeBron James on Leonard. Why? Because Leonard is fast and LeBron is big. You put LeBron on Leonard, Leonard's not going to drive because he knows he's going to get stuffed. Dwayne Wade, you have him out on Danny Green. That's kind of, it's not a really good matchup. But, I mean, you look at Dwayne Wade, I think he could take Danny Green. I think he could drive on him. We'll see what happens there, but from a defensive perspective, not really the best matchup. But I think that he could be able to stop and limit his play by guarding him close. And by being a little bit smaller, Danny Green is not going to be able to put the ball on the floor as well, and that's going to stop penetration. So putting everything together, the Heat also have to have Ray Allen show up. Every game, Ray Allen has to show up and make shots. This Miami team is, I don't know if they realize it, but they have to rely on Ray Allen. Because if they don't, they're going to get beat. Ray Allen has to be able to hit the shots and be able to move the ball offensively, and he has to be there defensively. Manu Ginobili is going to want to hit those threes and knock down shots. Ray Allen has to be able to stop that. So I thank you for listening. The game tonight, 9 o'clock on ABC, should be very enjoyable. I thank you for listening. Have yourself a wonderful day and enjoy the game.